Good evening. I'm Enari Darklor and welcome to Churikua.
Hatuey, the great hero, warned us about those men who enslaved us. They took our lands from us. We didn't think they were so powerful. At least we're left with the satisfaction of knowing that we stood up to them and fought as hard as our strength allowed. My grandmother, may she rest in peace, told me that when she was little, she had a sister named Yara. She was very pretty, kind, and naturally wary of strangers. Thought you never know when things might change. One day, Yara went out in search of the healer, since my grandmother was very ill. The healer agreed to come as soon as she gathered her herbs, but she didn't count on a group of Spaniards seeing her, and upon seeing her beauty and virginity, taking her prisoner with the intention of offering her to their chief as a slave. Knowing what would happen to her, she was terrified, her heart pounding like a drum. Once she saw the chief, she noticed he was carrying his sword, and she let him lead her to his chambers, remaining docile until the moment came, a chance, when she seized the man's sword and wounded him with it. As the man fell to the ground, bearing a deep gash inflicted by Yara with his own blade, she began to run, to flee with all her might. She found herself pursued by those men, some on foot, some on horseback, hunting her down as if she were a wild animal. Of course, her goal now was revenge, to avenge their fallen chief. That was their priority. She reached the foot of a church. It was well known that, as a house of God, the priest was obligated to provide shelter and asylum to anyone who requested. But, to her misfortune, they demanded her, and the priest accepted her pursuer's request instead of granting her asylum. They dragged her away by force. Far from the church, night had fallen, and now they demanded to finish her off. Tears fell as she saw herself defeated, knowing that her freedom, in every sense, would come to an end. As she stood near the spot Chief Hatuey had been executed, a light appeared in the sky. It seemed to be coming from the mountains at full speed. The light began to disorient the men standing guard around her, settling upon Yara. Those flames that had been glowing just moments before in a somewhat iridescent yellow descended, and she threw herself into it. The flames consumed her body, turning them blue, and little by little her body became a mere memory. This light, the light of Yara, rose towards the sky. The Spaniards, incredulous and disoriented, ended up wandering aimlessly until dawn. Yara, now transformed into light, joined that struggle, the power of our land, our blood, our heritage, uniting with Hatuey in this fight. And it was very likely he who came to offer her a final glimmer of hope against her terrible fate. Since then, lights have been seen at night coming from the mountains, thought they do us no harm. Indeed, they are incapable of harming even the most fearsome of creatures. They disorient anyone who finds themselves in their path. There is no doubt that their spirit, having endured for so long, will surely continue beyond our existence. For those future generations who will remain on these lands, who will claim the freedom for which we have now fought and longed so much.